I'm sure most of you probably have done this at one time in your life, taking cream off top of milk. It brings back a lot of memories. And those of you that have never maybe took cream off the top of fresh cow's milk, this is what it looks like. You can see here in this jug the depth of the cream. And you just take the top part of it off, the cream, until you get down and start getting in the milk. And I like to leave a little bit of cream in the milk, shake it up before you drink it. But we're going to be making some butter, and I love fresh cow butter. Oh, it looks like we got about 1.5 quarts. It was probably, I don't know, close to 2.5 gallons of milk. For sure 2 gallons. And we got 1.5 quarts of cream. So that Jersey cow is really putting out some cream. And we're going to be making some butter. And you can see here that I'm having to drink some fresh milk because it is so good and cold and good. Man, that's good. Alrighty, we're getting ready to make some butter. Laura bought this butter churn a few months ago, and we haven't used it yet. Where we had been buying our milk, they had to let the cows dry up for a few months to get ready to refresh, to have calves and get ready to milk again. So I've got about 1.5 quarts in this jar. This jar here is not the original jar to this churn here. It's an old coffee jar, but it fits it good. And it was the one that was with it whenever she purchased it. And I took it apart last night and put a little oil and a little bit of grease in there, and I got it where it'll whirl pretty good. And we're going to see if it'll make butter because we've never used it. But if you don't have a hand churn, you can actually do it with a quart jar, working it back and forth on your knee. I've done it many times when I was young growing up. You can actually put it in a, what's that called, dear? You use sometimes? A blender of some type?
Yeah, my KitchenAid.
Like a KitchenAid blender. If you don't have nothing else. It takes a while to do it in a jar if you're working it back and forth. I used to sit, no telling how many hours when I was a kid growing up and do that. But we're going to see if it'll make butter. It looks like it's whirling it pretty good.
I've also made butter with whipping cream bought it.
Yeah, you just buy whipping cream, yes.
Yeah, I've done that before.
You can make butter with store-bought whipping cream. That's what I use in my coffee a lot.
Yeah. How long do you think that's going to take?
Probably till my arm gives out. It's probably going to be like churning, cranking ice cream.
Yeah. I guess I might help you with it a little bit.
But we're going to do it, see if it works. Alrighty, we've been doing it for about 10 minutes or an hour. I think it's just 10 minutes. But I'm going to tell you a story. When I was young, I don't know, I was young once. I don't know, I was 13, 14 year old, I believe. Went up to the barn to milk the old Jersey cow. And she was being a little bit contrary that day, and I usually put my head right up in her flank and reach under there and milk her and kind of hold my head in her flank there. And this particular morning had my head in her flank and I was milking. And I don't know, she decided that she was going to kick, and she kicked. She cow kicked and caught. I was sitting in a little chair and she caught underneath that chair and knocked me plumb backwards, knocked the milk bucket forward, and then she stepped inside the milk bucket. Milk went everywhere. Needless to say, wasn't no fresh milk that morning because it ruined it all.
How long you been turning?
I've been churning 3 hours, I think, but about 12 minutes. It's got a little froth to it, but we'll see.
I'll take over here.
When it gets to making, it'll make it pretty quick. All right, we finally got butter, and it took a little longer than normal. It probably shouldn't take about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. But I was impatient and didn't check the temperature of the milk. It should get about 65, 70 degrees before you probably really start. But we got butter. Look at that pretty golden butter. And now we're going to take and put it in a cloth probably, and then we're going to work the whey out of it.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is rinse it.
Well, we're going to rinse it, then we're going to work the whey out of it. But we're going to have some butter.
Okay, we're going to rinse our butter, and what that does is get the buttermilk out. And you try to get as much of that buttermilk out as you can, because if you don't, it'll sour your butter. And I'm doing this with ice water, because at this point my butter's really soft. I already rinsed a little bit off. So I'll do this quite a few times until this water in here is clear. And this is just the way we do it. So when we get this rinsed good and the water comes out clear, we'll put some in the butter bell, and then we'll put some in the refrigerator. As you can see, the water's already clearing up, so that means we're getting a lot of that whey, that buttermilk, away from the cream. Okay, you can see how clear the water's getting now, so that means we got most of that buttermilk away from that will cause it to sour. So we're doing good.
We put our butter in this butter bell, and this is to keep it where you can keep it out and keep it room temperature and keep it from getting hard. And inside here we've got water. And when you put this bell down in there, first off you make sure your butter is in there good and tight. And when you put it down in there, the water is going to come up over the edge of this rim, up the side of it just a little bit. And that's going to keep it fresh. That's going to keep air out of it. It's going to keep this stuff out of it, or whatever. But I mean, it's going to keep it, that way you keep it in room temperature. And then when you just pull this out, get your butter out, and you can put it back in there. We're going to give it a try.